Welcome to programming. This is video number 21. In this video I'll show you how to add right-click menu to Nautilus using python-nautilus extension. So this is how it works. I usually go to website with Git support and they wanna clone this site. They can copy it and then open their Nautilus Explorer, create a new folder for it, call it something, get into the new folder, right click on the background and then call the git-tool script, select the menu, input the URL in and then go click OK. The URL will get they will clone the source from this directory and put inside the folder that the user just created. How do I add the functionality? It's gonna be in this video and hopefully it's not too long, so let's get started. Anyway, I'm using python-nautilus, a Nautilus Python extension to Nautilus. The first thing that you have to do is you have to install python-nautilus package. And the second thing you need is a little bit knowledge of Python. I think that helps. So if you open your Ubuntu Software Center, just go ahead and install it by searching for python-nautilus. Mine's already installed, so the only button there is really remove button. So if you haven't installed it yet, there will be an install button right there. You can go ahead and click on it. After your installation, you should be able to write your script. The script that you are writing, it should be inside your home folder. And if you show the hidden files and go to .local, that's a folder, and go to share, go to Nautilus Python, and there should be a folder that's called extensions. Because I have my script already in there, it automatically loaded any script in this folder to add the menu to it. Right now that's git tools that I wrote and the button with functionality to be able to clone it. Now we're gonna create a new one exactly with the same functionality, but even though I removed the git tools script into the not active folder, it still haven't refreshed the cache for Nautilus yet. We're gonna need, for developing purpose, we're gonna need to terminal for it. The second one is to kill all this Nautilus session so that we can run it from the top. Now notice that we don't have the right-click git tools menu in here. We're gonna be creating one. Okay, so that's mainly the debugging and development process for Nautilus extension development. Okay, because we start the Nautilus this way, there's going to be a bunch of error messages. you're gonna have to catch it real fast. And to restart it, just kill and then restarting by calling Nautilus again. That's the whole process of development process go. So okay, let's get started. First, we're gonna grab an example code from the official binding from Python. Let's go to the website and go to the documentation, read the reference, grab the example, copy that, and then create a new script. Now to create a new script, we're gonna need to go to again show hidden file .local share Nautilus extension, and in here create a new empty document. Let's name it git integrator. Open it with your favorite text editor. Now paste the code in. There are two functions right here that we need, that concerns us. The first one is when the interaction to user, that the menu is going to show to user when the user right click on a folder item inside a Nautilus. So this menu right here, if you need it, you can go ahead and use it, but not for me right now. So just to make the code cleaner, I'll use the second one, which is the one that will get called when the user right click on the background, not click on the mouse doesn't hit on any item inside Nautilus. So that is the background, but that is the item, selected item. So now let's rearrange this, rename this into git integrator, and let's call that git integrator and give it in the same name. And in this menu we'll say clone, so this will be the actual text they're gonna be displaying in the menu. Let's just say that. Okay, it's the other way around, so let me clean this up a bit. Item is submenu.append item. I want to say item in there, so that should clear it, and that should be the item. This should say clone from, and that should be clone. This should be git integrator. That's the main menu in our script. So save this and try. Now right click, there should be a menu on it. Nope. Okay. Kill all. Rerun it. Now wait for your system to load up. Right click on it, there should be git integrator and a button called clone from. Clicking on this now wouldn't do anything because we haven't added any functionality to it yet. Okay, let's go back to the code. Adding functionality to it. How do we add functionality to it? Let's go back. Go to simple extension. Now this is how you add functionality to it. You're gonna connect the event and then give it the function with the file menu. Now the file is the file you selecting, or in case you right click on the background, it's going to be the current working directory. So let's copy that code. Item.connect. And paste. Now let's just go with the flow. So we're gonna be creating menu activate method that will receive a file. But since this is GTK, we're gonna have to pass in the window. Now let's see what we're gonna do with this. We're gonna get string from this, so let's dialog. Okay, what do we do? We're gonna be reading in a URL. So let's first get the file name. URI is the file.get URI. This is because the get URI return something like that. Something like that. So we need to cut from the 7th position upward. Now next we're gonna be reading in URL. Let's call this file name, and let's call this directory name. And we're gonna be reading in a URL. So let's create a new dialog. gtk.dialog. Now we need to get the GTK. We need to import the GTK from the top. We should be specifying the SS type. To be question, title to be enter URL, git URL, and what are we doing? We're gonna be specifying we're gonna need button. So the button that we need only OK. If we need yes and no, just go ahead with yes and no. Right now I only need OK. Now we're gonna need to say something to your user. By saying please be polite with the user. That's how I had mine. And let's have an entry for the user to enter. Entry it is simply just a text field, and append it to the dialog. And finally we can force them all to show before we actually running it. Running dialog will show the actual dialog to user. Show out doesn't show it right away. So after that we can get the URL from the entry. And we don't need the dialog anymore, so we're gonna be destroying it. Okay, that's how we pop up a text and then asking the user to enter it. Next, I'm not gonna show you how it works, or I should. Okay, let's do it now, just to make sure. Kill them all before running it. Okay, there's something wrong with the script. The name is wrong, incorrect. So the name is only menu activated, nothing else. So get rid of that. Do it again. It's a good thing I would try. So let's kill and then run. Okay, this time it worked. So when the user click on that, go to clone, it will prompt the user for the URL, and the user can paste something in, but we haven't done anything with that yet. So let's do something with the text enter. Okay. Let's call get. So we're gonna be using subprocess, not call. This is gonna call external command. The external command that we're calling is user bin get, and we're gonna need to give it the URL. So that's the URL, simply just the URL, and then we're gonna need to say git. Okay, let's go back to the website. It's git-clone and then the URL. Okay, you can see as I haven't used git that much, so it's gonna be clone right there before the URL. Now if we want them to be inside a particular directory, we're gonna need to say the directory name. So that is the name. Okay, that should be it. Right, let's save it and then make sure we kill them all, restart it, and okay, let's create a new folder, testing 1 2 3, and in testing 1 2 3 we're gonna be copying the site, and then right click on this, say clone from, put in the URL, and then click on OK. Hopefully for a while it will fetch all the source codes and put it in the directory. That's all the code that it's needed for the script. Anyway, anyway, if you want to make use of this if you want to have a couple more ideas on how to actually use this, there is some example inside the python-nautilus extension. So go to .local share nautilus python extension. You can if you know Python good enough, you can have it to integrate it with your Facebook, and you can add the file into playlist. You can see the difference between the two files and lots more stuff. For me, I would just used it for my research, as my research tool. Okay, hope that helps, and it's not too long of a video, so you can watch it and follow along. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.